Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Yesterday was my birthday, so I took the day off, just chilling at the house here. But today I want to talk to you about what's going on in the world, a few things, including something here local to Waco. The place that I work at, L3 Harris, I'm a maintenance man out there. They add parts and retrofit things to planes out there and do all kinds of maintenance on aircraft. A pretty neat place to work. I'm not allowed to take any photographs of anything going on there. It's part of the whole job contract. But at any rate, occasionally the news comes through there and they have me and several people set up chairs and staging and things so they can have their little events. And when they have these events, it's usually over a new contract. And if y'all watch my channel pretty closely, I explained all this when I was showing y'all the P-8 Poseidon plane. That is one of the planes that they build out there as well. It's a plane that actually they use against the drug cartels to sniff out submarines in the ocean from a Navy plane way up in the sky with some cool technology. That's the real secrets they got going on, is the technology in the wings and in the nose and in the tail and things of that nature. But that's not for me to get into, considering I want to keep my job. But occasionally they do a newscast about this here on the local stations, and I just figured I would show it to y'all for the first time, probably first time you've ever seen these planes. They call them Skyraiders. They've got 2 or 3 different names for these things, but they're literally a well-armed crop duster that they make for our military, and they sell to other countries as well. And let's go ahead and get into it. It's just another accolade for the company, another billion-dollar contract where they got to retrofit 100 and some odd planes with armor and weaponry. Pretty cool stuff, folks. We'll go through this, and then I'll get into a little bit of what's going on in the world, talk a little bit about that crazy shooter over there in Minnesota. All right, folks, let's get into it.
Is underway in Waco to turn crop dusters into advanced military aircraft. The Waco branch of L3 Harris Technologies is adding on another contract with the Air Force after it established one with the Navy earlier in July. News 10's Jessica Rajkumar was at the opening for the hangar this afternoon and has more on this billion-dollar project.
This new hangar here in Waco is the new home to the OA-1K Skyraider 2 aircraft. It's a new beginning for defense contracting company L3 Harris, as their new hangar for the production of their new Skyraider 2 aircraft is expected to flourish in Waco.
To be able to support the U.S. Special Operations Command and Air Force Special Operations Commander AFSOC, the end user of the Skyraider 2, also known as the OA-1K.
L3 Harris takes crop duster planes for agriculture or firefighting and transforms them into a new aircraft fit for combat.
We put in a bolstered wing structure. We put in a points on the wings to be able to hold rockets, missiles, a set of ISR gear to be able to do sensing. It can stand on station for long durations and essentially be the eyes and ears, as well as for strike for our special operations forces worldwide.
L3 Harris Waco's manager Sean Ling says the new hangar is expected to bring around 70 new roles to the area, as well as giving a chance for the next generation of engineers from Baylor and TSTC to get their feet wet.
Seeing the opportunity to bring in both experienced, highly qualified new employees, as well as bring in new college and technical school graduates, develop their skills and help build up this Waco workforce here on site.
Over 100 people came to celebrate the new beginning of the project, which could cost up to $3 billion. And president of their ISR program, Jason Lambert, says their crews are eager and ready to begin.
You see who's there with him? It's Pete Session. I actually seen him on the property a couple of days ago. He's being shuttled around, looking at the different planes and stuff we have there. They do occasionally bring in politicians, congressmen, and things to oversee this stuff, considering this is a huge boom for Waco. Probably just the taxes alone that they make on this place is probably keeps Waco afloat. Like I said, this is a multi-billion-dollar defense contractor that has many billion-dollar contracts, including the one that they already got with several different planes and aircraft, but they're just letting us know that they now have another contract, same type plane. They're just going to be selling them. They're going to be manufacturing them for not just the Army, but now the Air Force as well. Or not just the Navy, but the Air Force as well. So that's good to hear. Expansion is great. It means I get to keep my job. But I just thought this was quite an interesting thing going on at my job. As a matter of fact, all those people sitting in those chairs, I'm the one that had to put those chairs out for 300 people. But it is what it is.
Once we arrive from the plane coming inbound, it takes about 100 days through the production cycle and end user testing to be able to deliver. So on any given time, we have a crew of roughly 10 people working on the plane, but we're operating on multiple shifts. And again, the team in Waco is well over 900 people, so we're growing that based on this new work coming in-house.
This hangar is now operational, with the productions of these planes underway, with some already being completed and ready for action. In Waco, Jessica Rajkumar, KWTX News 10.
They crank them out pretty fast there, folks. They said it takes about 100 days apiece. They come in there and they look like a skeleton. They don't really have, I mean, they're such a little plane until they leave. When they leave there, they're a much bigger plane. I mean, they expand the wing size. They do so many things. Pretty cool, though, because them things can land and take off in a minimal amount of airfield. Minimal amount. They're great for runways that are not necessarily made for airplanes, if you know what I mean. A lot of countries buy them. Other countries buy them as well, just because they don't have to have an airport for these things to land. Just a strip of land is all you need. It makes them practical for warfare as well. All right, folks, let's get into a little bit of news of what's going on in the world with the Cracker Barrel. If you haven't heard, Cracker Barrel has changed their ways. They are deleting their DEI stuff off their website. They are in complete damage control. After Trump had words about them, they went back and rebranded their logo back to the original. After this crazy lady right here, Miss CEO, woke brand CEO of Cracker Barrel, thought it was okay to trans up everything, to gay up everything, to woke up everything, and support all that over your own patrons. And in turn, this lady makes $7 million a year, and she has lost the company millions of dollars. So she's getting paid to lose them money with her marketing strategy, which is obviously another like a Dylan Mulvaney type move. This is a new logo erased the old man leaning against Cracker Barrel, as you all remember. It wiped out more than $100 million of their company marketing value after this happened. Later Tuesday, Cracker Barrel caved to the public pressure and will switch its logo back to the beloved old timer. So anybody that just replaced one of these signs is going to have to go back and put the old one back up. And I bet they destroyed them. So I'm betting it's just going to be an expensive venture all the way around for Cracker Barrel for the way they just screwed up. And they tried to Dylan Mulvaney Cracker Barrel, and people ain't trying to hear it. Don't change it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If everybody likes the way it is, why you got to change it? Bringing back the beloved logo. And I've seen so many memes of Trump leaning on up against a barrel of oil with the Cracker Barrel logo. America's Country Store. But now one of the co-founders of the Cracker Barrel had a few things to say about this woke lady and what they've tried to do to the company that he helped build. And there's an interview about it today, and I wanted to get into that with y'all. He 93 years old. I'm sure you got to understand, he did not agree or want to be a part of any of this woke rebranding garbage. He just he's like the rest of us, just dumbfounded by how did that happen.
From the mid-state all the way to the White House, the bungled brand makeover that's been the talk of the nation, even catching President Trump's attention. Cracker Barrel, you know, or may not know, got to start right here in the mid-state, headquartered still in Lebanon.
Also out in Wilson County, one person who is watching this country fried drama with particular interest, one of the restaurant's co-founders, and he invited me to pull up a chair to chat.
You got to have some hog jaw in the beans.
At 93 years old, Tommy Lowe clearly remembers opening the very first Cracker Barrel.
On September the 19th, 1969, I went out, that was Monday morning, I went out and unlocked the door. And the people just came in.
It was a partnership between two friends, Dan Evans and himself, an old country store and restaurant along with a filling station. They just needed a little backing.
And it took forever to find 10 guys to put up $10,000.
So back then, Cracker Barrel wasn't a sure bet.
Oh, It wasn't a bet at all.
But as we all know, some 600 stores later, it did pay off. When Cracker Barrel started, and you had this idea from visiting this old general store, what were the tenets of your business that you thought would make it successful?
Well, it was just a country store, so country people.
You can see that in one of Lowe's cherished heirlooms. This is the original menu.
Yeah, there's a country boy, $1.95.
And you can almost taste that country cooking.
We served a center cut piece of country ham on there with 3 eggs and grits and hash browns and biscuits and jelly and gravy.
All trademarks of Cracker Barrel, just like Uncle Herschel on the company's logo, until a brand refresh took a bite out of the barrel. Now, when you saw this logo rolled out the other day.
Oh, that's crazy.
Here we go.
That's nothing. It's a bland nothing. It's pitiful.
Following public outcry, presidential pressure, and a stock plunge, late Tuesday, Cracker Barrel rolled back its decision, making what's old new again.
They're trying to.
Did y'all see that? That was Robbie Starbucks and Benny Johnson made the local news.
Modernized to be more like the competition. Cracker Barrel doesn't have any competition.
For Lowe, who went from vice president of operations to a decades-long board member, then loyal customer in retirement, it is just the latest misstep following a very expensive restaurant and menu update under the direction of CEO Julie Massino. Has the CEO is coming up on 2 years of being in that position. Has she ever stopped by and said hello?
I don't have any idea who she is.
And she doesn't have any idea who you are?
No.
Do you think she knows the story of Cracker Barrel?
I don't think so. Well, I heard she was at Taco Bell, but what's Taco Bell know about a Cracker Barrel? And country food. And the food is something that you need to work on. Spending $700 million to do that is all I've been doing. I'm just throwing money out the street.
Lowe says from the beginning, simplicity and authenticity were the main ingredients in Cracker Barrel's winning recipe. And
Well, you know, Taco Bell ain't doing too well. You go there and it's $7 for a nasty burrito. Just the service, the quality of the food, the whole rebranding. They don't serve half of the stuff that I used to go there for the Mexican pizzas and the enchiladas and the beef Mexi melts. They don't serve any of that stuff anymore. What's the point? Now they just serve burritos and expensive tacos. I remember when it was $59, $79, $99 at Taco Bell. That was when the food tasted better. What happened? Cracker Barrel, they did not have to go by the wayside like this by hiring this lady. That was obviously a bad choice. Solution here is they need to get rid of her and find somebody who's actually knows something about marketing.
Today's CEO should bet on that.
If they don't get back to keeping the country, then it ain't going to work.
Lessons learned, we hope?
You know,
Well, hopefully they learned their lesson. They went back to their old ways. Hopefully they stopped. I'm under the impression they have stopped funding a lot of this gay stuff because they're now got Robbie Starbucks on them like a duck on a June bug with his DEI team, his team of anti-DEI legislation, and he'll put it to him. He will sue these people for everything from racial discrimination to favoritism of their employees according to their skin color. All kinds of charges can be made there because Cracker Barrel's hiring policy is actually illegal with their DEI crap melded into it. Now, folks, everybody knows what's been going on the last couple of days with this trans shooter, and the local news is not trying to cover it as a trans shooter. They're just trying to cover it as a shooter. They're not even mentioning the trans part. The fact this guy was on drugs, probably on more psychotic medications with more side effects than most of us could probably pronounce. And that's just the truth of the matter. So I want to play you Craig Gutfeld. He says some things in this video that I probably shouldn't be saying because this is just really pisses me off, really grinds my gears, as they say, to see that 20 people, mostly children, were shot behind some twisted trans psychopath. there's got to be something done in this country to look into this. These people that are on these crazy drugs need to be looked at. The drugs, are they making them crazy? Are these people crazy and then we're adding drugs? I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of both. But this trans mafia that is turned violent, that is went against our schools, our children, our churches, our values, there's a problem. I've never had a problem with the LGB person. With the T thing, that's where it goes off the rails. They're violent. They're predators. They're child sycophants. I can't even. I don't know the right words here, but I don't want to say too much because I have a really ugly opinion about how these people need to be treated when they're predators in life and they think their lipstick and high heels is going to, and their gun is going to be a deciding factor. That I don't know. I don't know. It's really disturbing that we have not got a handle on how we can stop these school shootings from happening from these trans confusionistic people. And what can we do to stop this from ever happening again? Do we need to put the National Guard in the schools? Do we need to check everybody that's on these transgender drugs and see what they're into in life? Look at their social media presence. Do we need to start scrutinizing people a little more that say crazy shit on the internet about wanting to kill people? I would probably say yes to all of those things at this point. There's got to be a solution. I don't like our privacy being invaded, but when you're a man going in a woman's bathroom trying to beat her out of in a sport or take advantage of their children because you're just got something to screw loose and on drugs too and violent, these people need to be locked up. Yeah, I have a big problem with the T's, and I won't get into it too much on YouTube because of the whole racial issue or whatever it is. But this TikToker here is just really a sicko. I'm glad I don't know his name. I would get over on his channel and probably trash him today. So I'm not going to. There's enough people already doing that. I don't even want to get involved. But I will play you this video clip, which is a little bit aggravating. This TikToker actually issues a warning claiming more violence will be taking place targeting children and religious schools and churches. Now, this is another sycophant out there. People like this, when they put out videos like this, somebody needs to knock on their door within a very short amount of time and find out what they really meant by what they said.
And you know what? There's going to be a lot more of that coming up. You know, especially at these religious areas, you know, hey, we've had enough of your kind coming after public schools, right? It's about time, yeah, churches and Catholic schools and religious schools, it's about time they get their turn. That's what I think. That's what I think. I'm just going to sit back and watch people do it. And I'm going to fucking laugh. I'm laughing about yesterday. You guys want to laugh about us? We're going to laugh about you. And you know what? There's going to be a lot more of that coming.
You know, see, there's no reason that this guy should be not at least scrutinized today. They need to go check and see if he's got a gun. They need to look at his criminal background. They need to look at his accounts online. This guy doesn't deserve privacy when he thinks it's funny that he feels like he's somehow the victim and thinks it's a great thing to promote more of this. What a sickening human being. Yeah, when they throw up red flags like that, they need to be dealt with. They need to be put in a friggin' mental farm, find out what the heck's wrong with them. They need to get off them drugs or whatever it is, the media, whatever it is that has rotted their friggin' brain. Maybe the devil himself, I'm guessing. But these people need to be dealt with. And I'll leave it at that. Now, Greg Gutfeld had a great monologue on this, and this is better than me just giving you my all-out ugly opinion because it's bad. I really have a lot of animosity towards these people because they seem to be the ones that are doing a lot of this violent stuff going on in our country. Trantifa, school shootings, church shootings. So many acts of violence in this country have happened by this crowd of people. And so my question is, what are we going to do about it?
thoughts and prayers. That is all they are offering.
And the mainstream media, like Jen Psaki, sickening. Listen to this.
Thoughts and prayers. That is all they are offering.
Thoughts and prayers just aren't enough here right now. Because these kids were actually praying.
At the end of the day, thoughts and prayers have led us to having more of these deaths, more of these shootings.
Keep us in your thoughts and prayers, but also keep us in the thoughts for action.
Okay, Greg, I'm going to go to you because when this all was happening, I thought, wow, okay, this feels like something Greg either predicted or could have told you was going to happen again.
Yes. This is why none of these a-holes can lecture anyone on compassion. The most compassionate people on this planet are trying to stop the trans delusion. The least compassionate are the people in the media, academia, and politicians who enabled this hysteria of horror. What is so glaring about the trans cult? Apparently your identity is the only thing that matters until you do something awful. Then it's the least important variable. Then you look at everything else. You talk about guns, but you suddenly, it's all of a sudden like, oh, we can't talk about that. What was it, the other trans shooter that they actually hid her identity? In this manifesto that this creep wrote, he said he was tired of being trans and that he had wished he had never brainwashed himself. What more do you need straight from the monster's mouth? Politicians, activists, teachers, you built this. You could have listened to the warnings. We were talking about this on this show for years. You amplified a hysterical, literally hysterical phenomenon that was going no place good. You created a poisonous program that twisted young minds for destruction, a nihilistic place to be when you deny biology and they have nowhere to go. So all of these media arguments, what you're seeing there among those people, it's to escape their own culpability in the reality that they created. So forget the layer of mental illness and gun control. The origin of the evil lies in the creation of a mindset that indulged a delusional self, ruining connections with fellow human beings. So that trans, by ascribing extreme aggrieved mentality, then gets directed against society, so this person feels justified in killing children. His killing resulted from that ideology. And if you don't believe that, you're one dumb asshole. Excuse me.
Trey Gowdy, great to have you.
He's right, you know. I couldn't have said it better myself. I blame the media. I blame the Democrat Party. I blame Obama for pushing this crap in our schools, for allowing this crap to slowly creep in. Why? George Soros money helps promote it under the table. That's a big part of the problem. Child affirming care and crap like that. That's a code word for something else altogether. Call it what it is. If they called it what it was, it wouldn't work for them. Now, folks, got a couple more clips here I want to bring for y'all today. Hopefully everybody's having a great Friday. Not trying to bring y'all dark and disturbing news. That's why I wanted to stay away from that topic, but it is very disturbing, and it does need to be discussed. This is April 2024, 3 months before an attempt on his life. Democrats proposed legislation to strip Trump of his Secret Service protection. Do y'all remember that? I remember that very well. This Benny Thompson from the J6 committee, this guy on screen here, he was one of the ones that was calling Trump threat to democracy, threat to society. And they tried to strip Trump of his Secret Service protection while people were trying to kill him. Literally tried to do it. Now, the same people are offended that Trump just took Kamala Harris's extended Secret Service protection that Biden gave her, and he just took it away from her. He just executive ordered that shit right out and canceled it. So Kamala Harris no longer gets extra protection, extra escort, extra expenses on our government. There was no point in her having extra Secret Service protection. Nobody wants to kill her. They just want her to go away. Want her to stop laughing. and never run for politics again. That's what we want out of Kamala Harris. We don't want her to die. We just want her to go away.
Good morning, Chairman. It is a pleasure to have you. The Washington Post headline screams, if Trump is convicted, Secret Service protection may be obstacle to imprisonment. I thank you for your legislation. I have been saying for some time that any former president or federal official who has this type of protection and some of the other benefits of being a former member of office, all of that should go away. All of it. All the privileges, all the briefings, all the access should go away.
It's really simple. The average man or woman on the street assumes that when you break the law, if there are some benefits that you are receiving before you are convicted, you lose those benefits. As you know, all former presidents receive Secret Service protection. So that's a given.
Good morning, Chairman. It is a pleasure to have you. The Washington Post headline screams, if Trump is convicted.
They were trying to say that if Trump is convicted of mortgage fraud in New York or whatever it was, or the J6 crap, the insurrection theory they had on him, if any of this stuff ever sticks, if he gets convicted of it, we got to strip him of his Secret Service protection. Remember that, folks? So I don't want to hear a damn word out of these Democrats about Kamala Harris's lack of free escorts and security. She doesn't need it. Her family doesn't need it. We don't want her dead. Republicans aren't the assassins here. It's these damn Democrats and their crazy friggin' crew of Antifa. That's who's promoting violence in this country on the airways, with their policies, with their actions, with the bail laws. The Democrat Party is the party of evil. It's a party of crime. It's a party of death. And for anybody that's a Democrat at this point in time, I hope you wake up before it's too late. I hope you wake up before it's too late. Now, this here is off topic, but I thought this was something that needed to be said as well. This is Gavin Newsom saying the quiet part out loud, and it's actually a great idea. Now, before I get into this, I want to let y'all know that by 2026, we're supposed to have voter ID requirements in every state. That's what Trump's working on with these executive orders and things, trying to force these governors into doing it. Also, because the elections are run by the state, but also handled by the federal government when it comes to actually receiving the numbers and things, the federal government at any time can step in these counties and be a part of the whole election process, including sending ICE agents out there. If you're not going to force voter ID and going to encourage illegal immigration recipients to be registered voters, then maybe it's a good idea to put a couple of ICE agents in front of every voting booth in these left-wing leaning states, or actually every left-wing leaning city in the country, just to encourage them. Come on in, vote. We hope you're a citizen, because if you're not, we're going to know. We're going to get you. We're going to kick you out of the country for voting. Is it worth that? You're going to get kicked out of the country when we catch you, but if you put your name on the voter rolls, you vote, oh, well, that's a sure shot, quickest way to get expedited, and I believe it's going to have to come down to a decision like that. But Gavin Newsom is already spouting what needs to be done, and he's saying this because he knows that they need these illegals to vote. And so if you do put ICE agents out in front of the or even across the street from the voting places, I guarantee you there will be a lot of people in California that have been voting for years that speak no English that will not be showing up. I guarantee you. I bet at this point that's the least of their concerns, is trying to get locked up behind voting. They're not even going shopping in some places. They're worried to stick their head up like a groundhog for fear of being rounded up. And I'm glad to see that. It needs to be handled that way. If you don't belong in this country, you got to go one way or another. And if we have it done right, no more absentee ballots, no illegals voting, voter ID required in every state, and if we have our way, ICE agents available for immediate incarceration of anyone who is breaking those immigration laws when they show up to vote because they're not a citizen. Not a bad thing to check. I ain't mad at the idea, and luckily Gavin Newsom thought of it for us. Great idea. I'm thinking Trump is going to have several astringent layers of protection that is going to prevent the Democrat Party from doing what they do to us in every election. We may even get a semi-fair election in California.
In LA, do you think ICE is not going to show up around voting and polling booths to chill participation? You know that. The National Guard, you know that. Everybody knows what's at stake, so we have to put a stake in the ground and do things differently. In LA.
So what are you going to do differently? ICE is run by the federal government. Elections are federally mandated, run by the state, but have to be run properly or can be taken away from the state's authority. Absolutely true, folks. Part of the whole doctrine. That's what I got for you today, folks. We may have to do that. We may have to set National Guard out in front of schools and churches. May have to hire private security. May have to go to some drastic measures. May have to have ICE agents at these parades going on, these Gavin Newsom rallies. Anywhere you think. How about the Cinco de Mayo parade? Doesn't hurt to do ID checks. I have no problem with that. I get ID checked 50 times a day at my job. It's just part of life. And if you don't belong here, you're hiding, sneaking, creeping, and you're not a citizen here, I think they have every right to get into your business because you need to go. And I'll leave it at that. A little bitter today, a little angry about what's going on in the world. It's just such a sad situation with what has happened with this shooting. I didn't even want to discuss it. Just heartbreaking. And to see these Democrats just, we got to get more illegals to vote. We can't call him a trans. We may offend his identity pronoun. Come on, people. Grow a heart. Grow a heart. Think about who is the victim here. And it's not the guy in lipstick with a machine gun. That's what I got for you today, folks. Like, subscribe, and share. We are winning this fight, folks, but it is a slog, uphill slog, because evil is out there every day in every way trying to get back at us with this sickness. We got to fix it. We got to stamp it out, folks, one way or another. God is in control. Everybody have a great day. See you soon. Over and out.